Hi, lovelies. Welcome to Healthy Eating with Grace. I hope you're enjoying your weekend already. Today, being a Saturday, I thought of making a vlog on the right way to arrange your food ingredients in your fridge, because how you arrange your food ingredients can actually contaminate the food you eat. Do you know that people get contaminated even when after boiling food or eating cooked food, and they still get food poison and all those things? But these things start from the fridge and actually start from the farm. However, we do not have control on the material that is used to plant, the farmer, and all the farm practices. And what we can control is when the food gets to us. So your storage and then your cooking and then how you eat it is how you can control, so that this fine body will be able to benefit sufficiently from what you eat. So if you are interested in this vlog, please come with me. The first most important thing I want to talk about is cleaning your fridge. Actually, that is the most important thing to do before storing your vegetables or storing all the ingredients that you buy for the month or for the house. So it's important that you use either hot water, lemon solution, vinegar, or saline solution. If I say saline, I mean salt solution, to clean your fridge thoroughly, because microbes do hide in the fridge. Actually, some microbes really thrive in the fridge. No matter how the temperature is cold, that is the environment or the condition they need to grow. And one of those cute microbes is Listeria monocytogen. So cute. And he will be the one feasting on all your food if you allow it to hide in there. So it's important that you clean your fridge with all these things I have mentioned, and then condition the fridge for the storage of your food. I've actually heard people teaching that you can use bleach. Please, it's not all the advices you hear on the internet that is right. Bleach is not food grade, so don't go using bleach solution or whatever to clean your fridge. That is not right. Use something that is food grade. So you can try all those ones I have mentioned, and let's get into how we can arrange our products or our ingredients in our fridge. For the purpose of this video, I'll be using this small space fridge to teach how you can arrange your thing in the fridge, and you can apply it no matter how big your fridge is. So let's go right into it. So I'll start from the freezer. For those small freezers, is the freezer. And the freezer is actually where you keep anything that has to be stored over -10 degrees Celsius. So the temperature of the fridge is actually between 1 to 4 degrees Celsius. So if you have a product that cannot be stored within that temperature because it cannot freeze during that temperature, so you would have to put it in a temperature that can freeze about -10 or -2 going to -17 degrees or even more if your fridge can afford. Then you have to store those ones in the fridge. And especially what we store is meat. You can store your fishes, especially fresh fishes, and all those things. But when you are storing them, you have to make sure that you don't put them together, or maybe you just throw them in the fridge. No, make compartments for those ones in the fridge, or store them in containers and then put them in the fridge, so that none of them interact with each other, because the microbes that are present on meat are different from microbes that are present on fish, especially fresh fish, and they are different from microbes that are present on legumes and cereals, especially if you have some legumes you want to store for over months, 6 months, and all of that, and they are in the freezer. You do not have to just throw them in like that. You can keep them in bowls like this. Just keep them in bowls and then label it nicely so that you can see what it's in it. You don't have to be opening things to find things. Just label it nicely, and then you can put it in your freezer, or you can use a Ziploc bag and then label it also nicely and just arrange them in your freezer. It would even help you to be more organized. You don't waste time when searching for stuffs in the fridge and all of that. So that is that for the freezer. Please make sure you compartmentalize the things that you are storing, either in a container or in Ziploc bag, well labeled. Forgive me that I kept using fridge. I was talking about the freezer, actually. So the freezer is where your stuff freezes. Now we are coming to the fridge. The fridge part is where the temperature is around 1 to 4 degrees Celsius. And there are shelves in almost every fridge. And mostly the first shelf, or the shelves that are above, are to be used for ready-to-eat foods. So you don't put anything on any shelf. Use the shelves that are up or above for ready-to-eat foods. If I say ready-to-eat foods, these are foods that when you take from the fridge, you are consuming it, or you can put it in your mouth and eat. So here I have cake here, and then my fridge here is very small, so these things are not labeled. So if you have a very big fridge and you have to search for stuff, that is where you label a lot of these things. So this is cake, and when I take this, I can just open the cake and eat it right away. I don't have to I don't have to microwave or do anything to it. I have yogurt. As soon as I open it, I am eating this yogurt. I don't have to microwave it. So these ones have to be in your upper fridge. I have drinks in my upper fridge. I have cake. Most people tend to put cakes that are in their boxes and then they put it in the fridge. Oh, we should not do that. This cake has been handled by the baker and then the delivery guy, and then you also. We are all touching the box. So you cannot imagine the kind of microbes all around. So when you get this box, you just have to transfer the cake into another cake bowl. My cake is small, so I just transfer the cake in this bowl and then you keep it in the fridge upper part, because these are ready to eat. I have milk. Milk is also ready to eat. I just put it in the upper part. There is an ice cream. I have my tea, ready to drink tea, and I put it in my upper part, So every food that you have that is to be eaten as soon as you pick it, you just store it in the upper parts of your fridge. Now the next shelf is to be used for foods that are ready to use. Ready to use means that when you take it, you would have to do something about it before you eat it. It's either you heat it in a microwave or you cook it, or anything you can do to the product before you eat it is ready. It makes the product ready to use. So here I have staorage granules. I like to chew granules while I'm working, so it's also ready to eat, and so you store them here. So this is the first shelf. Now let's go to the second shelf. The second shelf is for ready to use ingredients that when you take it, you would have to either wash it or microwave it or cook it before you use them. And you can put your fruits. These are grapes. I would have to wash it in vinegar or in water, saline water, or any water that can make it clean before I start eating. So the grape can go to the next shelf, the lower shelf. Same with mango. It can also go to the lower shelf. I have tomato. I don't have to throw them in my crisper drawer. I have to put it in a bowl so that every microbe that is inside is kept in the bowl, and then when I take it, I just wash the tomato and use it for my food. So I put the tomato also here. Then I have egg. If you have the egg holder that have the cover, that is perfect. You can also put your egg, because egg is also ready to use. So just put your egg in your fridge like that. Then we go to the next shelf, which is the crisper drawer. The last shelf is the crisper drawer, and that is mostly made for vegetables. It works based on humidity changes. So if you put your vegetables in the crisper drawer without putting them in any container, it is okay. It can maintain some bits of humidity and store your vegetables for a while, but it will keep shrinking, especially if you put stuff like green pepper and carrots. They will keep shrinking. They will not become the same again. So it's important that in your crisper drawer you compartmentalize your vegetables and then keep it in your crisper drawer. In my case, I have a vegetable bowl made purposely for vegetables and fruits. It has its regulator here that can regulate its as to what vegetable you put in. So some vegetables can be put together in one bowl, others cannot be put together in one bowl. I'll make a video on which vegetable you can store together and which vegetable you cannot store together later, but these ones can be stored together. So I put them in one bowl, I cover them, and then I regulate it so that it can be in here for over a month, sometimes 2 months, and nothing is spoiled here in the bowl. So this is the bowl I keep in the crisper drawer. I have another one. This is for cucumbers. You can store cucumber with carrots. You can store cucumber with onions. Spring onions. You can store cucumber with strawberries and all of that. So these ones can be stored in one bowl and then kept in your crisper drawer. I just need to regulate it. and then I'm good to go. So I just put them in my crisper drawer instead of putting them all inside the crisper drawer. They will cause others to ripe, because they are producing different kind of ethylene gases, and then they will cause others to ripe. So you have to know which food ingredients or which vegetables you can store together, and then you do so as such. So this is how you arrange stuff in your fridge: upper shelf for ready to eat, lower shelves for ready to use, and then use crisper drawer for vegetables. The last thing I want to say is that you have to know how to maintain your fridge, especially this size. You see, it's difficult to clean, so when you are cleaning, you be careful to clean all these sides. This size can be used for your water. I have water here, I can just store the water here. You can store some other things. If you have sweets, you can store your sweets here. They have the same microorganism that may act on it, so it is okay if you store them together. But if you do not store similar vegetables together, there will be a transfer of one microbe onto another food that can poison the food, and you have to be careful about that. So I'll stop here, and I hope that you have learned a thing or two when you are arranging stuff and you will translate the knowledge in storing of your vegetable to avoid cross-contamination and food poisoning and eating healthy. So I'll see you in my next video. If you have not subscribed, I don't know what you are waiting for. Please subscribe and click the notification bell for any video I release. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.